That's right. Joining us now to tell us the latest on how the blizzard is going to affect travel in the United States, transportation correspondent Jeff Pegues. Jeff, thanks for joining us. So where is the impact most being seen right now?
Well, at the airports, of course. If you look at the northeast airports, the airports that are really in the path of this nor'easter, that's where you're seeing all the cancellations, what we have so far. And these are numbers that are probably going to rise. 5,000 plus cancellations at many of these airports combined. Let's talk about some of the hardest hit airports. LaGuardia Airport, where 75% of the flights have been canceled. JFK, 50% of the flights canceled. Boston, of course. Logan Airport will be shut down after 7 p.m. tonight. So these are airports in the northeast in the path of this storm that are really being affected. And when I talk about that 5,000 number, these are airlines canceling flights, not only today's flights, but also tomorrow's flights as well.
Hey, Jeff, and that's a domino effect, isn't it? Where, like, if you're canceling flights in all these areas, LaGuardia, JFK, Boston, there's a domino effect across the country. Flights in California, perhaps, are affected by what's happening here, correct?
Well, you're right. There is a cascading effect with all these cancellations, but this is something that the airlines have to do to get ahead of these storms. What they don't want are passengers seen on camera trapped at airports because they have no place to go. And so what they've been doing really over the last few years here, they cancel flights ahead of these storms so that there aren't those pictures that we've all come to become familiar with of passengers stranded at airports with their sleeping bags, sleeping on some of the chairs at the airports. Also coming into play for these airlines are pilot rest rules as well as tarmac delay rules. So there are rules in place to prevent these situations where you have passengers either trapped in planes or at the airport with nowhere to go because you have all these canceled flights once the storm is bearing down.
And Jeff, to Vincente's point about the cascading effect, talk to me about what happens if people want to, if they get bumped from their flights, or if their flights are canceled, now they want to travel by train. What are we seeing there?
Well, even Amtrak, for example, is affected by this, but they are telling their passengers also to really keep an eye on the forecast. They're telling us that they have a normal schedule today, but tomorrow that could change. So Amtrak officials are looking 24 to 36 hours out. And all of this, of course, depends on the intensity of the storm, whether these cancellations increase and whether there are more delays at the airport really depends on the path of this storm and how it develops.
All right, transportation correspondent Jeff Pegues, thank you so much for your reporting.
You know, it's so interesting to hear him talk about the path of the storm. As I was flying up the East Coast from Miami this morning, riding in that airplane was like being in a rodeo or surfing because there was so much turbulence. So this storm system that you can see on the eastern half of the country expands much beyond that in terms of the experience. I tell people it was like driving down a country road in an old pickup truck with no shocks, and there were potholes everywhere.
Man.
And then all of a sudden the plane would take a dip. So this weather system really is affecting a lot of people in the country, and don't do too well with turbulence.
Well, take a look at this map that we have from NOAA, which is from just a couple of hours ago, showing just how massive this storm system that is hovering over the eastern seaboard of the United States
and even
is.
Out west, you can see that too.
It's incredible. And the mayor of New York City earlier speaking today saying this is not business as usual, urging New Yorkers, and that goes for everybody on the East Coast, to take this very, very seriously, that this is going to be a storm of epic proportions, and many, many millions of people will be affected by this storm. Now, residents across the Northeast are headed home early ahead of this massive snowstorm moving in.